Okay, this is great. This is episode 9 of the Become Fearless podcast. I've had a little bit of a break. For those of you that don't know, please subscribe. I've created a new YouTube channel. So I've not deleted the original one. I'm still putting content on that. That's for social anxiety, dating, relationships, confidence. And at the moment, I'm doing a lot of stuff on helping guys to break their porn addiction non-judgmentally if they want to, right? I don't force people. And I'm going through my own journey with it as well. So this is the Become Fearless podcast. I've done an episode with Kyron. You should check it out. It was brilliant. He's living in Thailand at the moment. So check out Kyron's first appearance. I wanted to get back on the momentum. My goal is to do 100 episodes. So I'm bringing Kyron back on today. He's a great guy. We're going to talk about relationships, life, lockdown, Thailand, fitness, getting back in shape, and much more. So this channel is all about educating, motivating, and inspiring people to conquer their fears so they can live the life that they want to live. So please subscribe. So Kyron, it's really good to get you back on, man. I know you've been busy, and I had to be patient and arrange the second appearance. So thanks for coming back on, mate. I'm looking forward to it.
Johnny, thanks for having me back on the show, man. I really appreciate it. It's nice to be back.
Yeah. Well, the obvious thing is, like I just said before we hit record, is I can't believe how great you look, man. You've lost so much weight. You look younger. You look fitter. You just look better, man. I'm impressed, man. I'm in shock. Let's start there, because I think a lot of people watching this, a lot of people would have put on weight during the lockdown. I know I did. I had to work on dieting, so it will inspire people. If we can start off with, I want to know what you did, because the last time we spoke on the podcast, I mean, I always think you look good, Kyron. I really mean it, but you look different. You look like a different person. So what have you been doing since we last spoke to get in the shape you're in now?
Yeah, so I've always had, like, all my life, I've had like the ability to gain weight very quickly. So I've always had to have been careful with like how I look, and like the last few years I realized that I wasn't happy with like how I looked. I had like a double chin, had like the usual kind of like fat in places like most guys have, like stomach and etc like that, and I was never really pleased with how I looked. So for the last couple of years, I've had this thought in my mind that I actually want to do something about it, in terms of get in shape and have like the kind of body that I've always dreamt of having. And it wasn't until about 2.5 months ago that it kind of dawned on me that I had this realization that I've been going to the gym for I would say since I was, well, the last 20 years. And I've been doing weights. However, I've never put a lot of focus on my how toned I am. I always kind of ate really what I wanted. If I wanted to eat junk food, I would drink a lot. So I had this like realization that, hold on a sec, I spent all these hours in the gym, but when I look in the mirror, I'm not happy with how I look. It's almost like I felt like I was wasting my time in there. Because even though, yeah, I was putting on muscle, it was there was still like my fat ratio, my fat percentage of my body was still very high. So I thought to myself, hold on, what are you doing here? All these years in the gym, you should have like an amazing body, like, all right, not like like an athlete, but yet to the degree where I'm happy with myself. So I think I had this realization on the weekend, like a Friday or Saturday. And on the Monday morning, I said to myself, I'm going to wake up that morning and I'm going to begin, not so much going on a diet, but I thought I'm going to just change the way that I eat. And I'm going to do loads of exercise, like cardio in the gym. So what I did was I started eating really clean. So I watched my macros, my fat content, my calories. And after my weights that I will do at the gym, I'll make sure that I do, this is very extreme, by the way. I don't recommend that people go out and do this, but I made sure I burnt 1,000 calories on the cycling machine, basically, and I did this fasted. Fasted training is basically when you wake up in the morning and before you eat, you go and work out, you go to the gym. Now, there's a lot of research out there that suggests that this isn't good for you, and there's a lot of research suggests that this is good for you in terms of fat loss. So I'm not saying it works for everyone, but for me, it's been working really well. So I go do the fasted workout, fasted cardio, and I have breakfast about 1, 2 p.m. And then I'll get my calories, my maintenance calories in that I need for that day, and I'll make sure my protein is enough for my muscle mass and how I want to grow. So just lately, what's been happening is, which I never thought was possible, I've been managing to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time, which people say, oh, you can't do that. You've either got to bulk up or you just cut your fat. But trying to do both is really difficult. So I kind of played around with it. And for a while, I was just losing a bit of muscle mass. I was losing more fat. Then the fat I was not decreasing it as much, and the muscle mass was getting decreased. It was all over the show. So this last 2-3 weeks, I managed to work out for my body how I'm doing this. And for me, I need to so basically to lose weight, the obvious formula is you need to burn more calories than you take in. It's a calorie deficit. And if you're going to gain weight, you need to consume more calories than you're burning, which is like a calorie surplus. So for me, I need to make sure that I'm losing calories, so I'm losing weight, but at the same time, I need to keep my protein high enough so I don't lose any muscle mass. And I've just worked it out in this last couple of weeks. So that's basically what I've been doing, Johnny, in terms of working on my appearance. So that's basically what I'm doing. It's not that difficult once you get into the flow of things, because what I've done is I've kind of incorporated the way that I eat into my whole life. And if I want to have like something which is got quite a lot of calories in it, then I do it, because I know that I burn a lot of calories. And when it comes to like having a cheat meal at the weekend, I find that I enjoy it a lot more now, because I kind of know that I don't have those guilty sensations anymore where, I'm going to put all this fat, all this weight. So all in all, I feel better all around in terms of how I look, how I feel. And even when I want to go and eat, like, for example, a pizza or a burger, it's more enjoyable. So that's basically, in a nutshell, what I've been doing strategy-wise for my health.
Well, Kyron, man, I take my hat off to you and commend you, man. I think it's brilliant what you've done. Really pleased for you. And like you said earlier, there's always going to be different opinions, but at the end of the day, you've got the results. Look, man, look at the changes you've made. You found what worked for you. And it's interesting because I was just thinking before I interviewed you today, I did a video which is helping guys with porn addiction, but it's a lot more than that. Like a lot of stuff that we do, Kyron, it's got a deeper meaning. It's really about, if you want to, I'm not forcing anyone, because you can't force people to change, obviously, but it's about building discipline, happiness, habits, and that's what you've done. You've built this discipline to go and train and get your diet right, get your protein levels right. And I know how hard that is, but I also know how rewarding that is. So I can go in so many different directions. We've been talking a lot about relationships off the camera. Do you want to talk, Kyron, about what you've learned about relationships? We could start with women to begin with, and then maybe we can go across the board into other areas. About my main question, actually, and I think a lot of people listening will relate to this, is about not so much to start off with talking about negative relationships. We get to that, but actually having the confidence and the strength to say no to a relationship that you're in with a person that it may be good on paper and you do like them, but it's not right. It's not right long term. It's not good. It's not right. It's something in your body, your instincts is telling you, and that's when you have to say, it's hard to do it, but you've got to say no, so you can make room for the right person. And we could use that analogy with the right relationship with your body. But I think a lot of guys listening, and women would appreciate your insight, because I know you've been going through these things. So yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, you know, we've spoken a lot about this the last few months, like off camera. To kind of answer your question, yeah, when I was growing up and I had certain insecurities, low self-esteem, which to do with meeting women, etc. I would fall into like a habit of, when I got with a girl, I would even though that I knew on an intellectual and conscious level that this girl, although she was a nice, pleasant girl, she had nice attributes, she didn't do anything overly negative for me to not want to be with her. I found myself just wanting to stay in that relationship out of fear that if I left that relationship, then, you know, would I find another relationship? Would I meet another girl? How long would it be? Would she be as nice as that one, even though she was not right for me? And when I say not right for me, it goes back to what you said a few minutes ago, where you can just feel that they're not 100% perfect. You might lack a deep, meaningful connection there. So I grew up during my teens, my 20s, even my early 30s, for a few years, having this I wouldn't call it a problem, but going through this scenario of staying in a relationship even though I knew it wasn't right, and it's down to fear, basically. I was there because of fear, and it's only recently, the last couple of years, where I've started to be a lot more, I want to choose the right word here, I'll probably say relentless, in terms of knowing when to end a relationship, and also whether or not to start one, or continue with one. So yeah, to answer your question, it's I do believe it's common amongst many people on this earth. I don't believe that everybody that's together is meant to be with each other. It probably would explain why the divorce and separation rate amongst couples is so high in the UK. Last time I checked the stats, probably around the world as well. So yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a learning curve, and it's something that I'm constantly working on. I'm not going to say to you that I've mastered the art of being in relationships, because I haven't. I've got loads more to learn, but I have learned. One thing I know is this: if I feel something is not exactly right with whoever I'm with, then I will end it, and I will walk away, like I've been doing these last couple of years.
No, that's great, because this channel, this platform that I built through the lockdown, and which came from, you know, despair, depression, and anxiety and pain, and also passion. I really wanted to educate people in a different kind of way, in the way that we're doing, through storytelling and interviews and people's real life experiences, Kyron. And coming back to your point, it doesn't matter if you feel in your own self that you haven't fully mastered relationships yet. I certainly have. I think we're always learning. I'm sure someone even in a successful marriage, which is brilliant, they haven't mastered, they're still learning. So that's what this channel is about. I'm not saying I know everything in my area of expertise and stuff. That's why we're here, to learn and keep improving. But I think that's a really good thing. So for the people listening to this, the conversation I want to extend on with Kyron, and I really want to stick on this, which I'm fascinated with, was, you know, when I say educating people on fear, it's making people realize the actions that they're taking in their life, the habits that we've got, you know, the way that we treat ourselves and value ourselves. Sometimes we don't even realize that we're doing things out of fear. Like you said to me when we were doing a WhatsApp call, Kyron, that sometimes You know, we could be doing something for 10 years, but we don't consciously know we're doing it out of fear. And when we realize, hang on a minute, that I'm doing this out of fear, and I've got a choice not to do this. I don't have to be in these relationships, or I don't have to have a relationship where I don't like how I see myself in the mirror, and I can change it. That's the great thing. Anyone at any time can change, and especially for guys that are approaching our age, you know, late 30s, 40s, we're not in our 20s anymore. And we want to start making changes, and we want to be the best person that we can be. So, have you got any advice to anyone, Kyron, who guys might be going through a similar thing where they're in relationships and they don't want to be in there because they're scared? They think that we all go through it. I can't get anything better, you know. And if I end this relationship, I'm going to be on my own forever. I'll be lonely, or I won't meet a woman is not going to choose me or be attracted to me. Can you speak on that, Kyron?
Well, yeah, I mean, from personal experience, all I can say is at first you will feel like it will feel like you don't have the courage, the mindset to break away from a relationship. You probably won't even want to entertain it in your mind, because you know that you just wouldn't do it, because you have all these fear thoughts coming in to do with, oh no, I could never leave. I know she's not right for me. I've known it for years, and you probably might even think she knows it about you as well, but you still won't do anything. Now, I think it's a process. I think it's going to happen overnight, but you need to kind of realize that with life, a lot of the times you'll find that when you muster the courage up to take action, wherever kind of action it is, the usual law of the universe is that you will get rewarded. And it goes with everything: business, doing work, sports, getting fit. If you take the risk, you work, and you go out your comfort zone, then you'll get results most of the time anyway. And the same thing goes for if you feel that you're in a position where you don't want to be with in a relationship, whether it's with your girl, with a boy, if you're a guy, it's with a girl. I want to say that for me personally, it's one of the most, when you do take make that decision, it's one of the most incredibly empowering feelings that you can have. It will liberate you, and it will give you strength to know that you have what it takes to decide what is in your life and what isn't. And if you've got the courage to say, no, this girl's not right for me, then, and you walk away, you're opening up a whole other world of doors to give the girls that are right for you the space to walk in. And you're also going to feel better mentally as well. When you're in a relationship that you know is not right for you, you're harboring energy which is like a blockage, and you're walking around with that all day every day. So that alone is gonna hold you back from achieving the life you want anyway in all areas. So you need to look at it where, yeah, it's not an easy thing. I know that. Otherwise, everyone would be doing this, just walking out of relationships that they know are not right for them. It's not easy. But in life, usually the things that are worth having are not easy. A work is needed, courage is needed. There needs to be some sort of pain or suffering or something there to move you closer towards your goals. So that's basically what, from my experience, is what I would say to people to hold on to and to think about if they're in a position like that.
Well, that was a great answer. That's why I really love doing these podcast shows. I love speaking to good people like you, Kyron, because it's so fascinating, the lessons. And I'm going to try and simplify this, because people are at different stages of their life listening to this, younger guys, older guys. I know a lot of women starting to follow me on YouTube. They've seen the light, and I'm really grateful. And I just want to make a point of saying as well, this is just my own personal thing. Like, I've got a great respect for women, and I don't just say this on the camera to be polite, because I think it's important. I know a lot of guys sometimes get upset and they don't, and I understand that, but I don't agree on groups that kind of like, hate on women or attack women and stuff. I wasn't brought up like that. But at the same time, I do think, a man should be a man and should respect himself and have personal boundaries. I want to allude on to a point, Kyron, right? This is a cultural thing. For me, growing up in the British culture, one of the things that I kind of realized that at some point I didn't really agree on was the people pleasing aspect. I know for me, one of my fears, I think a lot of guys relate to this, was obviously my terrifying fear was being hurt by a woman. Like we all, if we're being honest, right? But my fear was I don't want to hurt a girl's feelings. I think a lot of guys have this. People, they don't want to say no to someone because they want to hurt their feelings. But I think from what I was saying to you, Kyron, and I know your values, you don't have to be nasty, do you, when you end a relationship with a woman? It doesn't have to. You don't have to be enemies. I've had to do it as well, and I did it in a really decent way where, you know, there's a way of saying things to a person without really attacking them or making them feel bad about themselves. But you can just say, look, I've had a great time with you, and I really have valued our time, but I just don't think we're right for each other, at this moment in time, and I'm gonna have to stop seeing each other. But that doesn't mean we can't care about each other, and that's basically what I've said in recent times. And I think that's important, because I think some of the things you gave were great, Kyron. And I want to also ask you this, right? I'm just going to take a chance. That's what this is about on this show, facing our social fears, even when we're talking to friends and people, being honest. I feel like, Kyron, if I understood, you going and getting in shape, the great shape that you've got in of recent, I kind of feel like that's you saying, I value myself more. And it's part of that area of actually you improving your relationships with women, your relationships with everyone. You going to the gym and putting in all of the effort you've had to put in, and the fears and the voices you've had to get past, the diet, get in shape. I thought that's a true testament and demonstration of a man or a person, a man, woman, valuing themselves more. And I don't think you can do it in any other better way, because a lot of guys will ask, okay, Kyron or Johnny, how do I value myself more? How do I not feel like I'm not good enough to attract a woman? And I always say in my videos, one of the best ways from what I've experienced, and I could be wrong, is getting into shape. Because when you get into shape, you don't let anyone bully you or put you down or not value you. In the same way, I treat people how I want to be treated. And I feel like when you put yourself through what you've done, Kyron, you're not going to settle for mediocre or just anyone, because you get on. So do you want to speak on that? Was I accurate with that? That's just my psychological brain working all the years of coaching.
Yeah. No, you hit the nail on the head there, 100% with what you're saying. I think a lot of this is to do with, like you said, a lot of me wanting to improve how I look is part of me valuing myself and how much I honor myself, I respect myself, and I love myself. So, because I struggled with growing up, I struggled with that. I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, and I didn't like who I was. So I've come from that place, the dark place of not appreciating myself, and because of that, my reality mirrored that. I would attract people and events that were in unison with how I was feeling. So the journey I'm on now, that I have been on for the last at least a decade, is to do with improving myself in all areas. So, first it was I would improve the way that I interacted with women, with my confidence, conversation. Then I would go on to improve my business life, my financial life, and now lately I've made a very conscious decision to maintain the way my health and the way that I look. So yeah, everything I do is working towards making myself feel as good as I can, because that to me is the main thing for me. If I can feel amazing all the time, then I do believe that you're 90% there in achieving whatever it is you want in life. The other 10% is knowing what you want and then taking decisive and consistent action towards those goals. So yeah, what you said was brilliant. Really, you made sense perfectly.
I think that you're going to inspire a lot of people, Kieran, women and men, because when they go and watch your other interview that we did, which was a couple of months ago now, they're going to see how different you look. You know, the weight loss, the muscle, and that will really move and motivate guys. Because at the moment, throughout the lockdown, I've done a couple of videos on my channel about for guys who think they're ugly and feel ugly, and I really explained, like you said, it's not solely about your looks or attracting women, it's about your confidence. But obviously, like you said, if people tell you that you look handsome and you look fine, but you don't feel it inside, you feel ugly, then it's going to affect your results and your relationships with women, because obviously you're going to project that, right? Let me come on to this point. I'm jumping tangents. This is my personality. I do go off. I think it's fun. Kieran, let's talk about this, right? Because this is a really fascinating topic, and I'm going to do a lot of videos. Explain the predicament, Kieran, that a lot of us find ourselves in, and it happens to women as well, right? We're not being biased, where you're dating someone and you do like the person, you do have feelings, you do like, and there is of course you have a feeling, you love them somewhat, you care about them, and you go out and you enjoy your time with them. You go to restaurants, you go cinema, or they come around your place, you go around theirs, but something's missing, and it's hard to explain logically, but you know in your own heart that if you stay with this person long term, it ain't going to end up good. You're not going to be happy with each other. And I've come to the conclusion, and I don't know everything, and my own conclusion is still going. I'm going to get your insight, Kyron. Is I think sometimes we have different values. Our values are different, and that's what gets in the way. And we have a different purpose in life. And sometimes when we meet someone, there can be a surface connection where, let's say, for example, you get on with a girl and a person because you both you both love online business and you're both doing that. And there's an excitement around that. And there's also an attraction, like you're attracted to her, she's attracted to you. But other than that, there's not a deeper connection. It just feels there's a certain level of connection. There's a level of relationship that you have, and it's not that intimate. Can you speak on that, Kieran? Because I know you've got a ton of experience, and I think that's why it doesn't work long term, unless you're not going to be honest with yourself, which is people's choice. I'm not judging that, and you're going to ignore that. You're going to continue dating and being with that person. And as you said, it's not a one-way system. We're also saying we're being fair here. On the woman's side, I'm sure she's feeling like that as well, that I like this guy, this is great for now, but I don't have the full connection with this guy. Maybe I should go out and find the guy that I haven't got a tight connection with.
Yeah, so what you're saying is basically when if a guy or a girl knows that the relationship is not exact, it doesn't feel right, there's something missing, like an emptiness, but yet we still stay with that person. Yeah, it's like so I don't know what you said about the way we value ourselves and others. I do believe there's that can vary to the individual. So if there's two people that come together in a relationship and they don't value themselves that highly, then there's a good chance that they'll probably stay together if they feel the other partner has enough adequate qualities just to see them through. So I think it works on the reverse as well. So if someone like myself or yourself, we've come to realize now that we discussed before in the past that if we're with a girl, you know, you said to me and I've said to you that, you know, they can be they could be really nice. We can have this in common. We both like going to the gym, both like, I don't know, Chinese food. But yeah, if the girl also has the same values we have in terms of valuing ourselves, respecting ourselves in that, and our time and who we are, and that we feel that the other person's not right for us, if we both have that, there's a good chance one of us is going to say it quickly. Look, you're lovely, but it's just not quite working out. So I think it depends on where the person, what stage they're at in their life and their development, which is going to attribute to whether or not that relationship's is going to A, work, or B, if it's going to continue or not. And I do believe that the relationships, the couples out there that are kind of meant to be for each other, I honestly believe, it's my opinion, that the reason it works out so well for them and they'll end up living like happily for years and years and years, and they just know that their partner is right for them deep down 100%. I do believe that happens when you've got this within yourself. You already kind of have a secure place of feeling like a wholeness within you first. And I'm not saying this for every couple. There's people out there that are happy and they've got certain challenges that they face. But I think in general, if you can learn to appreciate and love yourself first, and by that I mean you don't have any setbacks or anything which you don't like about yourself, I do believe that you give yourself a very high chance of meeting a girl that is going to be right for you, and one where you can have a relationship where you won't have any doubts about wanting to be with her and stay with her.
No, I think that's really great. And yeah, that's what's great about this conversation. I'm learning loads from Kyron. It's all about learning from each other. And as we said, we're not going around pointing fingers and saying, well, this relationship isn't working. It's people's choice at the end of the day. And I really respect that and appreciate that. But for those of us who grew up in school feeling different and who maybe felt rejected or judged and felt like they didn't fit in, and they were always settling for second best and always letting people bully them or push them around, and they've decided they've had enough in their life and they want to become fearless, as Kyron said, become relentless and live a better life and treat people better and have a better quality of life, then you've got a right to do that, and no one's really got a right to stop you and put you down. Another scenario, Kyron, right, which I find fascinating, I'm going to speak on my own experience, experiences that friends have said to me they've had, and because I want to share, the reason why I'm sharing it, I'll tell you why it gets a point, Kyron. If I can share these real examples, it might really help a man and a woman to recognize that they're in a wrong relationship, get in a great relationship, or it might make someone realize that the person they're dating right now is actually perfect for them. Anyway, let me just throw this a bit cheesy, but have a bit of fun. What do you think about this, Kyron? I read this on the quote somewhere. It said, when two broken people come together, they can become whole. And I think what it means is none of us are perfect. Obviously, we're all broken to a large degree. We've all been traumatized. We all have issues. But if you get a woman who's broken issues and a guy who's broken issues, but they're just right for each other, and they've got a connection and it just works for whatever reason, the universe, I do believe in God, love. What's your thoughts on that, Kyron? What do you think? I felt cheesy by the way, but I faced my fear. I'll say it anyway. I don't listen to these voices.
Yeah, no. So when I said earlier that you kind of need to work on yourself, I do believe that there is other circumstances where you can still be with someone and be happy. And I think what you just said is a perfect example of that. I do believe that there is there are similarities, like you just said, where that can be enough to because the example you just used, those two people that have got, internal broken issues, or whatever you want to call it, or challenges, or whatever stories they're telling themselves, that in itself, to each person, they could find the other person perfect for each other. So yeah, there is. I don't think it's a clear, black and white case where, oh, you need to be like this to attract someone like that, otherwise you can't, or you won't stay together. I do believe there is a lot of external factors involved. But I think for me anyway, to increase my chances and not have to face that game of roulette, shall we say, then for me anyway, I like to work on myself anyway, just because regardless of if I meet the right person or not, when that will happen, it's still me that I'm working on. And I feel that by doing that anyway, it's going to serve me benefits, not just with relationships, but in all areas of my life. So what you said, yeah, I can see it happening. It does happen in the world, I'm sure. Well, it does. But I'd rather keep, for me personally, and it's not for everyone, keep on the development side of things, where I keep bettering myself, just to because I know that what else can I do? The only thing that I could do for myself is work on myself. So that's all I have really. So I'm going to keep doing that, and then whatever happens, happens.
No, that's a great thing. I think we've spoken about this before, Kyron, that obviously we've all grown up different, but for those of us that have grown up and we've been through what we've been through, the bullying, the social anxiety, the challenges, we come to a point where we really do value growing as a person. And by that, I mean, I'll be as simple as I can put it. Growing means, developing as a person, facing your fears, going into situations in life that scare you, but situations that you're passionate about, like what you're doing with your business and stuff. And sometimes in relationships, I've had it where I've been on a date with a girl and I really like her, she's attracted to me, but she's not into growing. She's not introspective, Kyron. She doesn't want to openly talk about her fears. She's just not that way. And I can respect that. She wasn't brought up like that. She doesn't feel safe and comfortable and vulnerable to show her insecurities. And when I show that side of me, which is a big part of who I am as a person, I'm passionate, I don't apologize for it, there's a discrepancy. It's kind of like we can't fully connect because she's not into, she might think it's weird that I do YouTube videos, or my friends are, set their own business up, or, that I might talk about fears or addictions. She's just not, and her friends are not that way. So I have to respect that. But I've also got to value myself and say, look, we'll have to say no to this. And then a positive scenario is in the past, dating a girl who was so open and so easygoing. One of the relationships I had many years ago, where the girl was nothing but supportive, and we just got on so well. Obviously we had our ups and downs, but it was just the right person for me at that time. And I was very supportive of her, and our life got better as a result of being together. So there's so many things to learn on this. And yeah, what's your thoughts on that, Kyron? Wanting to date a woman that's supportive of what you do, because you're on a journey since I've known you. You're growing in your business, in your relationships. You've always got good things going. You're in Thailand at the moment, so are you looking to date a woman that is supportive of your growth and is not going to get in the way of that or try and stop you?
Yeah, I mean, there's that saying, isn't there? That famous saying, which is really popular. Something along the lines of behind every great man is a great woman.
That's it.
And I strongly believe in that. I do believe that. For me anyway, an attribute of meeting a great woman to be with is a woman that supports you in whatever it is that you do, and also if needed, it encourages and inspires you to do more, to be more, and to grow more. And likewise, the man should do the same for the woman as well. So to me, I've you know, there's certain attributes I look for in a woman, and that is one that I developed recently. I'm not going to say for years because I haven't. It's something that I thought about recently, and I'm glad you raised it. And yeah, I do believe that you know that there is some celebrity couples. I think you and me spoke about a couple months ago. I can't remember off the top of my head who it was we talked about, but there is couples that we spoke about. We were like, yeah, you can see how they are, how they're both like into their business. They're both really happy and confident. You can see how she supports him and he supports her, and they're both setting new businesses up, and they become really, you know, they live in like LA, and they got loads going on. And I look at that and I think, yeah, that is nice. They're completely happy, both on the same wavelength. So to me, yeah, that is a very unique. It's not. I would like to see it more common in my life around me, people that I know. But it's nice to know that it exists. And for me, yeah, it's an important part of being with the right person.
Yeah, it brought me on to thinking about patterns and habits, like the positive habits you've built with this with the gym and getting in shape journey that you're on, along with your other ventures, which we will talk about before we close. We've got a lot more time to go. We'll talk about your business, what you're doing with it. We spoke on that on your other interview. We'll catch up with you on that, Kyron. But when you start becoming more aware and more, I call it socially intelligent, you've got more life experience from going out and actually, you know, being in relationships or dating, you do start becoming aware of people's patterns and your own patterns. And as you said, there's a common pattern I've heard from guys and friends who have said, you know, my girlfriend doesn't support me. You know, she makes fun of me, or she has arguments with me and says, oh, why are you doing that business stuff? Or, you know, this self-help stuff is nonsense. Or, you know, she kind of makes fun, or it's almost a form of bullying, basically. And the conversation that they really want to have is where they're saying, I wish you know, the girl would support me, or she would encourage me to get a mentor, or to invest my hard-earned money on a program or a product that could better my life. But she's not supporting me. She's making me feel stupid or bad. Versus, you know, a couple where they say, you know, my girlfriend's great. She supports everything that I do. She encourages me. She wants me to succeed. She's happy when I do. And like you said earlier, it's give and take. How I was brought up by my mum and dad. Respect should be both ways. If you want a woman to support you and respect you, then you should also respect her journey or what she wants to do, right? Because it wouldn't be fair if you're like, well, a woman's got to respect everything that I do, but then a guy's not going to respect her journey, and she might not be on a journey, but maybe she's got something that she's pursuing. And so the more we talk about this and get these words out loud, the more I'm learning that there's a lot of positive. But I want to touch on this, Kyron. I really want to say this because you said it really great. You always say it when we speak. I want to try and stress, and I learned this in the last couple of years. It doesn't have to be a negative. If a guy or a girl says, well, the last 5 people I've dated, it's been the same problem. It hasn't worked out, or it's ended up maybe for some people toxic, or they took advantage, or this and that. We don't have to choose to be sore losers. We can say, you know what, every person I've dated, I've learned something from them. I still appreciate them. I wish the best for them in their life. And I know that's something you always say, Kyron. I really appreciate that. You always, if you've moved away from a relationship or business or someone, you always speak highly and generally wish them that they do well in their life. You're not like wishing bad on them because you didn't work out with you and them. And I think that's important for a lot of young guys listening, because it's easy to feel animosity or hurt by someone that you've parted ways with. So I'll get you to speak on that, Kyron, what your thoughts and feelings are, even though I've kind of just alliterated that you've said that in private, but it'll be good to hear it from you, because I think that puts you in, that makes you a better person at the end of the day. That's why I do all the things I do. I'm trying to help people to be a better person. I want to be a better person. So we don't want to live with like resentment, with regret, because we're going to carry that into our relationships. And it's just not nice to want to treat someone like that. I think of quite a few girls I've dated, and I get like I have a good feeling towards them. Also, I feel like I care about them, like, because you've spent precious time, you know, even though you weren't meant to be forever. So you want to speak on that?
Yeah, no, it's a good point you raised, and yeah, like you said, we have both spoken about this before. So years ago, I would feel that animosity and like resentment towards a girl if it didn't work out. I would, for whatever reason, it may have been my fault, her fault, or no one's fault. It just wouldn't have worked out. But I would feel a negativity towards towards the relationship or towards her behaviour, whatever happened. It's only as I got older and started to realise that, like you said it really well. Every relationship, I do believe, only looking back on it, this last few years, looking back at all the relationships I've been with, I realised that there was always something that time taught me with a particular girl. There was always something that they would point out about myself, or I would notice about myself from them, and I wouldn't have been able to notice that about myself if it wasn't for me being with someone else. So now I look at things differently. Now when a girl doesn't work out with for whatever reason like that I'm with dating, etc., or seeing, then I first of all I look at the relationship. I kind of analyze it, and I think, right, so what happened here? How was I feeling? What kind of what was I thinking? Did anything come up for me story wise? Did I have any fearful thoughts about myself? Was I being negative towards her? And I'd be aware in my mind of exactly what was going on. And I do that because I wanna better myself. I wanna change everything so it's all positive. And I look at scenarios like if I was with a girl one night and we had like a little mini argument, and I'd want to know, did I start that? How did that happen? What did I say? Why did she get upset? What made her give me the cold shoulder so quick? Why was she like that? Whatever it was, I look at it just so I can observe and better myself for whatever's going to come next. And moving on to the last part of your question, where when we split up, and you said a great thing, which is what you do, Johnny. You wish the best for whatever reason you split up with a girl. Wish them the best, and to me, that is one of the most beautiful things that I think we can do when we end a relationship. Of course, there's different ways that a relationship can end, and I'm not saying that they all end nicely, because some don't. But on a general level, on a general consensus, then yeah, I do. Like you said, I've got full respect for women. I love women, and I always wish them the best. And I like to give my my utmost luck for them in the future, for whatever happens, and not just in their relationship, but with their whole lives, business. And I do this with all people. I just, because it feels good to give them that nice energy. Because like you said, it's not nice to walk around feeling negativity towards others, because end of the day, it's yourself. It's us that are gonna harbor that emotion. We're gonna carry it around, and it's only gonna we're only gonna send it out into the universe, and it's only gonna come back in our day-to-day life anyway. So I don't know. I think I went on just there on a little tangent with your question, but
Nice,
yeah,
great.
all you meant was like to be positive and basically, yeah. I'll sum it up. To me, I learn from every relationship. There's always something there to learn, no matter how it's gone. And I always want to end everything on a nice, positive note and give my full support in all ways to wherever I can do towards women.
I'm going to ask you a question, put you in the spot, Kyron. Right? There's no right or wrong answer, and I'm going to answer it with you as well. We're really trying to. We're not forcing anything on it. We're just kind of show guys that you can be vulnerable and have these great conversations. What's the best lesson a woman's ever taught you that you've learned, Kyron, throughout your whole life? And I'll share mine with you. If you obviously want to answer a question and you can think like the best lesson and the best thing that's really helped you with whatever you're dealing with, or to be towards whatever.
Yeah, of course, I want to answer that. I'm just trying to.
It's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, because I'm going to answer it, but I want to find the right bit of information to give you. I want to give you what I feel is something that has impacted me and helped better my life. So there's been a few, like looking back on it, I've been with some girls that have taught me, many things about myself. So I would say the one thing that so yeah, there's a few, but the one that stands out, I would say, is I've learned to become aware of another rather than myself. So before being quite, I would say, selfish growing up, as in always about me and how I felt and how I was feeling, almost like a victim mentality. But I think what I've learned from, I'm not saying from one particular girl, but from going through, from dating various girls over the years growing up, I would say that I've learned to become more conscious of what a girl is maybe how she's feeling, what she's thinking, and for me not to always get caught up with myself, as in like it's all about me. So that is something that's the first thing I can tell you top of my head. I'm sure there's others. There's many things that luckily I've learned from women. There's more than just one. So I just want to share that one, just one that comes into my mind at the moment.
No, that's great, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, it's all everyone's perspective, and it can help people, and that's really interesting. And for me, and like you, it could go off into different areas. But I think the best thing I've learned that women have taught me has been to take responsibility, and I'll elaborate on that. And it's almost like probably the same to your one, but maybe in a different way. It means the same thing. It's because I know growing up, Kyron, it's funny because maybe some of the patterns come back to our mum. My mum would say to me, and she was right. She said it from a good place. My mum, from a place of caring and for my own good. She said I didn't like responsibility. I used to get angry, upset, complain, blame, avoid it, and it wasn't good. And that pattern continued in my life for a long time after. Even though my mum would say I didn't like hearing it. You see, I'd get angry, I'd get upset with my mum or people telling me, or the situation, and then and then when I started dating women, it was kind of like they were showing me that same lesson that my mum told me. Like I wasn't dealing with my responsibilities as a young man and as an older adult in various ways, and it was almost like I was manly in other ways and masculine, but very weak in other ways, acting like a boy when I should have been, just, for example, little things like maybe if I had to go and sort an official phone call out or go to an interview or sort something out that needed to be done, I would try and avoid it, or maybe ask the girl that I was dating, can you come with me and do this with me? where I'm basically putting my stress and pain on other people, on my mum or a woman I'm dating, and not dealing with it, what's mine to be dealt with. So that's something that they taught me that really helped. And as you said, these are not quick fixes. I've had to work on that continuously, and I feel much better with it now. And another thing, maybe you can touch on this, Kyron. I know a lot of guys have this pattern. Not all guys. I've seen guys I really have admired, actually. You know, and that's something me and Kyron do a lot, is pointing out people's good qualities. Because I think today people are often judging people, the negativity on the internet, all that stuff. I try not to get involved in, but a thing that I've seen women have that are great. Well, women, a lot, like a lot of women are very great at wanting to go out and do new things. Like if you're on a date, a woman might say, let's go to the museum, let's try that area. And sometimes as guys, we're a bit reluctant. We don't want to do it. We're like, I just want to go to the same restaurant. And I had to get over that. And women really helped me to explore more, to want to go out more and do more things, and not make excuses because of my own fears and insecurities, or wanting to keep control in a relationship. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do believe that as men we might get caught up too much in our maybe our masculinity. We want to keep that kind of it could be like a dominant. We want to keep that authority, that dominance, and it may even be like an ego thing where, oh no, I don't, why she brought up that. I had this place in mind to take her to. Oh, I like it there, so why she mentioned this? It could be a number of factors. I've done it myself. I've thought, well, I had this plan to go there, and then you kind of decide, oh, am I going to listen to that girl? Am I going to go along with it? And you think, if I go along with it, does that make me less of a man, that I'm following her and I'm not leading? Loads of stories come up in your head. So what you just said is, I've been there many times. I think all this comes down to, like you said, it's learning, isn't it? It's having those experiences, and then kind of negotiating your way through it to the point where you need to say to yourself, is this going to make me a better person? And is this going to help everyone? Am I going to make her feel good and myself feel good? And if you can look at it like that, and you send like the love out everywhere, then you're probably headed in the right direction. But it is a learning curve, like you said a few minutes ago.
No, that's great, because as you said, like what you described there, obviously as men we have egos, we have our own identity. We do get triggered at times if we think another man is trying to jeopardize our masculinity, our position, or control us. As of a woman, we're conscious and we're fearful that we want to be a man in a woman's eyes. We want her to look up to us, respect us, and be able to play our role. But there's a balance of overdoing it sometimes, as you said, where you can try and keep control too much and be too dominant, and then a woman won't actually like that, depending on the situation. Another question I was going to say to you is, I want to actually talk to you. It's really important. I'm going to do a project on YouTube about this, which is about social skills and communication skills, and how they really do play out with our relationships with people and women. And they can either make you very happy, or they can make you extremely unhappy. And I think, and I'm being fair when I say this, I speak my mind. Obviously, a lot of the guys who follow my work on YouTube and these channels, they lack social skills, and that's why they're coming on the channel, and that's why I'm trying to help them, and I've tried to better myself. And that's one of the reasons why I feel a lot of them might struggle to attract a woman or to communicate with women and people. And I think you've got excellent social skills, Kyron, and just getting better and better. So do you want to talk about your experiences with that and how that plays out with relationships, working with women or not working?
Yeah, so as you're aware, Johnny, growing up, I had I lacked social skills on a massive level. I had very bad social anxiety. And I mentioned this on the part one of our podcast before that we did, but yeah, it was bad. It was very bad. You know, to the point where I couldn't even go out to a family event. It was that bad. So I decided to improve my social skills, but the angle I took it was I went down the road of what template can I use to improve my social skills. So because I knew that I wasn't confident with women, I decided to better myself in that area of life. So I used that vehicle, so to speak, to improve the way that I came across, my confidence, my conversation skills, my body language, my eye contact. So this was a very, very challenging and painful journey that I began back in 2008, 2009. So about 11, 12 years ago, I started learning how to interact with women, and not just women, but I wanted to interact in every environment. This wasn't just about me becoming better with women. It was about how can I be a better person in life in general, with business, with jobs, with family, with traveling around, shop assistants, bus conductors, anyone. It was about me not being restricted and held back in life. So I did this. I had a bit of help here and there with certain people, but most of it was down to myself. It was down to me putting myself out there and facing massive fear. Like when I say massive fear, I'm talking big fear, to the point where I would have such. And now I'm discussing. I'm talking about the fact here where I'd go out and just try and speak to people like out and about. So I would leave I lived in Windsor back then in Berkshire, and I would go into London. It'd be like an hour and a half commute to get there, and I'd go there to try and improve my interpersonal skills, to communicate with girls, how to approach girls, speak to girls. But the fear and anxiety was so intense, so magnified, that I'd find myself getting the train up there, going there with the objective to speak to women, but I would walk around for up to 5, 6, 7, 8 hours on the streets of London and not being able to approach even one girl. That is how bad my anxiety was back then, and how big the fear was. So this carried on for a long time. I don't even know how long it was, probably the most part of a year. And I would keep going into London. I would keep going. And it got to the point where I had enough of the feeling of regret, worthlessness, defeat, failure. I couldn't handle not taking any action anymore, because those emotions were so bad. I thought nothing could be worse than me actually doing this now. So one day I went up there and I thought, you know what, let's just go head on. All right, the anxiety's there, the fear's there, but do I really want to get back on that train again this evening, feeling like I always do? So I said, no, what I'm doing now can't be any worse. And I just started. I remember going up to girls in like coffee shops, just saying, hi, ask for directions first, and that was difficult. But I took it in like little baby steps, and that's how it began. And then, to cut a long story short, started doing that for years and years, and just by facing that fear, going into it head on, it's got to the point now where, I mean, even I can't believe I'm going to tell you this now, but to the point now where I can see, no, I'm going to say it because it's true. I can see any girl anywhere, anywhere in any city, and if I want to speak to that girl, then I can and I will speak to her. But it's taken years of pain and suffering to reach the point I'm at now. And because of that, because of me learning this skill set to do with meeting women, it's transmuted across all areas of my life. I've taken that model and applied it everywhere, and I owe a lot of my success in all areas of my life. I owe it down to the attributes, the skill sets, the lessons that I've learned from taking action in that area of my life.
I mean that's really great, and that reminds me of, I've done a video, I haven't uploaded it yet. We're not taught, are we, Kyron, in school when we grow up? We're not taught about relationship skills or social skills. I just can't understand it. It's something so important to men and women. And that's why a lot of men don't know how to speak to women. They don't know how to build a relationship. They don't know how to sustain one. They don't really understand women in that regard. And they have to seek advice and help from people that do. And it's frustrating for a lot of guys who just want to they just want to be honest with women. They want to be themselves, respectful, and get a girlfriend, or I went through it, so I know it feels. You just want to get over this horrible anxiety, this horrible feeling of not being good enough, and seeing someone, a girl, and wanting to communicate, just speak to her like you do with your mum or your family or friends, and just have that connection and to feel good about yourself in the process. So that's really great. I think I'm going to have to upload this interview on my original channel, because we've covered so much. But if anyone's watching this and it's the first time you've come on this interview, make sure, if you've enjoyed this, make sure you go below this video, you click the link, which will take you to my Become Fearless podcast YouTube channel, so you can watch the other episodes, because I don't really plan on doing, as far as I'm aware, interviews on my original channel. I wanted to separate them, but because we've so much good value today from Kyron about dating, relationships, social skills, getting over social anxiety, it makes sense that I would put this on the main channel, because it's for that. Or maybe I'll divide them up into the two, but just do make sure, guys. We're coming to the latter stage of this interview. I wanted to touch on what your life's like out in Thailand. How is it? I know you like Thailand a lot. A lot of people listening might be curious. And how has it been over there, Kyron? You're not in a lockdown right at the moment.
Yeah, we're lucky that we're not in a lockdown like that you have over there. I mean, we had a lockdown at the start of this year for like 3-4 months, where we had to be in our homes by 9 p.m. at night. There was like a curfew where we couldn't be out on the streets, literally, for whatever reason. So we had that, but now I would say pretty much life's back to normal here. Apart from everyone wearing masks all the time, you can't go anywhere without a mask. And there's also a fever detection equipment installed when you walk into a shopping mall or like a train station, etc. That's all here. But apart from that, you would never even know that there's an alleged pandemic happening across the earth. You'd be none the wiser. You would never know about it. So, yeah, we are lucky here. In general, here it's for me, I love the sunshine. I love nice weather. So for me, it's perfect here right now. I feel fortunate and lucky that I'm not caught up in what a lot of people are facing now in terms of restrictions with their businesses, going out, meeting up together, seeing friends and family. So I do count my blessings that I'm here right now. I'm not in other places around the world which are heavily impacted from the the coronavirus.
Well, I'm glad that you're doing good. Like I said, Kieran, I'm glad that you're not suffering, because that's just a blessing that you haven't got the lockdown. What's going on at the moment? Uh, talk to us about your business ventures, Kieran. I'm fascinated. People listening will, and I want to direct people to if they need your help or services. So, what's going on? I know you've got a lot going on with the businesses. You want to talk about what you're doing and what your goals are, where you're at that, and how your services can help anyone who needs help in that area where you cater.
Yeah, so I spoke about this last time on the first video. So yeah, I've got an agency. We do marketing for service provider businesses. So anyone that has a business, if you're a tradesperson, if you're a builder, if you're a barber, if you own a gym, if you're a tattoo artist, any type of service business, we help them to gain exposure online and offline, mainly online. So we'll look at how we can market your services in a way which gets you more customers, more leads, more inquiries, whatever it is that you want more of. We can help you with that. So that's my main business, which is actually, it's based in London. Obviously, I run it from out here. 7 hours time difference is a little bit of a problem sometimes. I could be working till like 1, 2 in the morning, but it's what it is. You know, I've chosen to live here. I knew the time was like that. Apart from that, I've got also a few online retail stores where I sell products from manufacturers and suppliers, which get shipped directly to the customer. These are product niche stores that I set up myself. And apart from that, I'm just always looking at other things as well. Other ways I can improve my business. How can I help people? How can I add more value in what I'm doing? And at the same time, I'm always thinking of, you know, what can I do next? How can I do another business which is gonna, you know, help people as well? So I'm always either maintaining what I do, looking to grow it, or looking at new ideas for businesses.
That's great.
And also, sorry, Johnny.
No, I was just going to say, so is the Success for Traders, is that your main business venture at the moment? Is that the one that you put in most of your time into, and where you're getting most of your clients from, is it?
Yeah, I mean, more so lately, yeah, because what's happened now, I've noticed in the UK, is I'm getting approached by people that want to be online more. So, for example, one of my clients is he's a tradesman, and he installs windows, doors, and locks for properties across London. So, you know, there's residential, commercial. But because obviously the lockdown has kicked in, he's found that his work is decreased. So now he's had an idea. He wants to sell doors, as in like front doors to a house and back doors to a house or a shop or commercial property. He wants to sell these on one website. People can go on the website and just like buy them and get the door shipped to their property. So he's thought, how can I capitalize on the current situation in the UK and still make sales? So I'm finding people now starting to think, right, how can I get online now? And this is people that maybe not necessarily have got a business, but people that actually don't have an online business and want an online business, because they've realized now that should this lockdown continue, or this corona pandemic continue, or there's one more in the future, they want to be prepared for any eventuality in terms of not being able to work due to being locked down. So they're looking at different areas. So yeah, lately the Success for Traders agency has become a lot busier. In this last, since your last lockdown was announced, was that about 3 weeks ago? Was it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's been around 2 or 3 weeks since the second lockdown has been announced. I know we're going to be coming out of it. I think it's next week, December the 2nd or the 5th.
The second.
If I remember rightly, yeah. But,
yeah, so it's definitely got busier since what you just said. The last 2-3 weeks, starting to get inquiries now. People that are obviously concerned about their businesses, and they're thinking of different ways now to keep generating revenue. And I personally feel, not just because I work in this industry, but I do feel that online, to get yourself online now, has never been more important in any time in history than it has been this year. Just based on the fact people are at home more, small businesses are shutting down, people are not shopping on the high streets much anymore. People are ordering from like Amazon and eBay all over the place. So there's definitely things are changing. This year has been, quite a remarkable year in all aspects of term. So yeah, it's been challenging as well, but it's been consistent, and I'm happy that I feel deep regret for people that have lost their businesses during this time. It saddens me a lot. People struggling out there that have had to shut their businesses down, had no trade due to the lockdown. It's really really upsetting to hear. So yeah, I'm grateful that I'm not in that position.
No, first of all, Kyron, I'm really pleased that your business is really good and you've got a good future business. But yeah, I feel the same for you. I really feel for people, especially that have lost businesses and got families. I really do feel from. I feel blessed in a way, even though the challenges, because at the moment I'm not working. And that was due to having a breakdown in 2017, and I really just doctor's orders. I needed to recover, obviously, from so much stress that put on me. But then I felt like I was going to get back out to going back into full-time teaching again, and revamp my business. There was a high demand. I was getting a lot of people writing to me, but I wanted to make sure, obviously, that my mental health is good. I don't want to affect it. So it's almost like I went through a lockdown already in isolation before the coronavirus even came, when I was hospitalized. And then I come out of that next couple of years trying to get myself well again, and getting back into a good place. And then we got hit with this lockdown, and I kind of felt like there's no point in me getting back out, starting a business, because I'm kind of tied up here, because a lot of my work was working with people in person. But then again, over the years, I've had a lot of clients online, Skype, so I could do it that way. So I'm trying to make a decision about next year. I want to return to work. Really excited, but I have to make a decision. Well, am I going to do? Shall I put the whole business online? Because I know I can do that, and like I said, you can probably help me with that with your services. You were starting to help me. Your services. I'm not just saying it, guys, because I'm biased, because I know Kyron, but his business services are great. He actually helped me within 1 3-hour conversation to build my new podcast show, Become Fearless, get the brand right, the name, and he helped me to make a decision to take my old website down and to go with him hopefully next year and build a new one. So I think so many of us are going through that moment, Kyron. We're trying to make decisions about our businesses, and should we put it online? Should we do it some in person? And it's hard to make a full decision now, Kyron, because in London the rules keep changing. So 1 minute it's like you can socialize with people and you think, okay, I'll go back, I'll set my business up, I'll start coaching people, and then the rules come in and say, well, no, actually you've got to go back into lockdown. It's I don't even know fully the rules myself, where You can go and see your family, you can't. But like you, I'm a grateful person. I'm just going to tough it out and until things improve. But I'm really pleased that you've got a business, Kyron. And for anyone out there who's struggling, man, I send you my regards. I really do understand. But I've got to say this, right? Because I've been through it. I believe in it. Whatever you're going through in life, it's not over. It's not, as long as you've got your health, you've got family, you can eat, you've got a place to sleep. Trust me, I mean this from my heart. You can build it back again. You can become successful again. Things change. We've had these, there's been people go through stuff, man. Some of the most successful entrepreneurs have gone bankrupt. It's not easy. It's painful. It's blood. It's sweat. It's tears. You cry sometimes. Even strong men, we break. We do. It's hard. But if you don't quit on your dream and you keep going, you will build it back again. And that's what I've been doing on my journey. I'm open with people at the moment. Do I want to be in a position now? No, I'd love to be where I was several years ago, when my business was booming. But through some circumstances that I had no control of, I couldn't control a mental breakdown. But I don't use that as an excuse. I couldn't control the pandemic. But like you said, Kyron, we can control ourselves, can't we? Our reactions. So I hope a lot of people listening to Kyron's advice today and the energy, I think it will really help them. So where do I send people then, Kyron? Is it I've forgotten again, is it Successful Traders, or is there a certain link or a website you want me to point people? Because I'm sure a lot of people are going to need your help.
Well, no, that'd be great. I mean, yeah, you just said it. So it's the website name is www. and then success for, as in the number 4.
Yep.
Traders.co.uk.
Right.
Even if anyone wants any help or advice, I'm happy to give it. You don't need to, use us for any business or any money. Just want to do what I can to help at the moment. So for your viewers, Johnny, and if they need any help whatsoever, just drop me an email from there on the contact page, and I'll make sure, put it to the attention of Kyron. I'll make sure it gets sent over to myself. I'm more than happy to help, do what I can. I know out there right now there's a lot of challenging times right now for a lot of people. So if I can do my bit, then I will happily do it.
Oh, you're a kind man. You're doing great, Kyron, and that's why I've, in the meantime, we all do our bit to help out. I created this show, so if people are down or depressed, they can watch this. It will lift them up. They will feel that they're not on their own. They can get back on board. So is there any other businesses that you want people to send me to, or YouTube channels, or any platforms that you want people to direct me to of your work, Kyron, your stuff?
That's pretty much it, Johnny. Unless they want any help to set up e-commerce stores and start selling products, they can also get hold of me through the Successful Traders website. Yeah, the contact page there. Likewise, we got a Facebook page there. It's got quite a big following. We're on Instagram as well. Apart from that, that's pretty much it, really.
That's great, Kyron. It's come to that sweet time. We've done a bit longer. That's great, about an hour and a half. So I'll leave the links below to Successful Traders, the website. I'll leave your Instagram, your Facebook, so people can check it out. And I really appreciate you guys and girls tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe to both channels, the dating and relationship and the advice on social anxiety, and support the new channel, Become Fearless, and look at the other podcast episodes. And my goal is to do at least 100 interviews. I've done 9 so far, and so it's going pretty good. Kyron, thanks for coming on. I really, really appreciated it. Is there any last things that you want to share, Kyron, or anything else? We've covered a lot today.
I just want to say to people out there listening that are going through tough times, whether that's through any type of mental battle you're having, whether it's physical, tangible, to do with work or business. Like you said earlier, Johnny, the tough times, they don't last. There will always be, things will always get better. You just need to hold on to that that belief that things will get better. Try and focus on the positives. Be grateful and appreciate what you do have in your life. Make sure you focus on that as much as you can throughout the day. Really be thankful for what you already have. Keep that mindset and just work out what it is you want in your life. What are your dreams, and focus on them. And yeah, try not to dwell on the negatives too much. And yeah, you'll there's hope that way. You'll get through it.
No, that's great, man. Kyron, thanks for coming on. I'll probably have to get you on again because we so many things to cover, but I really enjoyed it, and I really appreciated it. So I'll see you guys soon, and remember, become fearless.
Thank you, Johnny. Thanks again for having me.
Welcome, man.